Welcome to day 9. Okay, listening. Why listening? Hopefully this story will convince you. The Valpes Indians. So in 1968, an American anthropologist went to the Amazon to live with some Indians there. And one thing he discovered was that all of them spoke many languages. The minimum was 3, but some of them spoke many, many more. And their main method was simply listening. When learning a new language, their method was they listened for 2 years before trying to speak it. There were no books, no studying, no memorizing, just a lot of listening. Another story. Let's talk about children. Children listen, and they listen a lot. When you think about it, didn't you do the same thing when you were a child? People think that kids have some super ability to learn languages. And while some things are easier for them, like pronunciation, one thing people forget is how much listening a child does compared to an adult. When you learned your native language, you listened to your parents speak for years and years before you started talking. Okay, so now I hope you're convinced that listening is great. So the question now is, what should you listen to? Option 1, sticky stories. I hope you're already getting them in your inbox. If you're not, let me know. And I recommend you continue listening to the sticky stories in the morning. 1, because the stories that you read, that you'll listen to there, are easy. Another reason is they're entertaining. Another, they're short. And best of all, they're already waiting for you in your inbox every morning. And that means you can start immediately, and you don't need to spend time online searching for something. And I know from experience from my students, because they're busy, when they have to spend just a little extra time searching, sometimes it's the difference between doing English and not doing English. So sticky stories are easy, already waiting for you. But it's not your only option. Another option is podcasts. What is a podcast? Podcast is basically a radio program that's on the internet. And the great thing about podcasts is whatever you're interested in, there's a podcast about it. I listen to podcasts all the time, mainly about marketing and business stuff. But whatever your interest, gardening, singing, dogs, there's a podcast about it. And you can start listening to podcasts when you feel the sticky stories are too easy, or when you're ready for more input, when you want to increase the number of minutes that you listen every day. To get started, 2 great sources I recommend are npr.org/podcasts. That's an American site. And bbc.com/podcasts. Obviously, that's the British site. And finally, audiobooks. So the great thing about audiobooks is that when you find one that you like, you've found enough English to listen to for about a month or maybe more. Because these are books, and a lot of them are long, and that means 20 or more hours. So that's a lot of English. Plus, if it's maybe too difficult, you can read the book first, or you can read the book at the same time. Or you can choose a book that you've already read in your native language, so the story is already familiar. And the site I recommend to all my students for audiobooks is audible.com. Okay, nothing to think about today. You can, if you got some free time, check out Audible, check out NPR, check out BBC, or maybe re-listen to some sticky stories. and I'll see you tomorrow.